It's time to take a break, to relax, to fall in love with love and life, and just be as you are in this beautiful healing space, okay? So, let's just start by clearing out the space and giving you some loving, soothing energy so that you can relax. Okay, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go in and just do a little bit of cleansing with some cinnamon, my favorite for grounding. Okay. Just breathe in and out. Breathe in and out here. And so, I really enjoy using cinnamon because it gives a nice, sustained grounding burn, and it has a lot of strong root chakra energy, and so that can be them coins, honey. That can be emotional balance, physical security, just feeling protected, all of that, and so that creates a beautiful space that we can work with. Okay. Okay. Breathe that in. Breathe that in. Okay. Good job. Continue. Inhale and exhale. Okay. Okay. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Beautiful, beautiful. You are beautiful energy. And this is just a nice little healing relaxation for you to receive some unconditional love. Just remember, the universe has your back at all times. There's nothing that you can do that would stop the universe, God, source, whatever you want to call this energy, from loving you. There's nothing that you can do that would mean that you are beyond unconditional love. You are so beautiful, but you are so lovely energetically, and that's really what matters here. Having this lovely, 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 lovely energy, 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 and being at one, and being at peace, being at one, and being at peace. You deserve a nice, relaxing vacation on a beach or in a bed, you know. Staycations are where it's at. I think that they're awesome, and I don't see anything wrong with them. Honestly, now that I'm thinking, I'm like, I think I should plan. I'm gonna, I gotta plan my future staycation. So I encourage you to consider your own staycations for a good time. Okay. Good job. Good job. So if you're choosing to fall asleep, just relax. Feel this beautiful beam of energy just touch all the points of the top part of your body as if the planets were aligned in a certain way, and you're just receiving this lovely, beautiful energy, just tapping all on your energetic fields, allowing you to feel whole, to feel loved, to feel enough, to be at peace. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. You are more than enough. You are more than enough. You are more than enough. You are love. You are love. You are love. awareness of during these moments, okay? So I haven't gone anywhere, just breathe. In and out. In and out. Okay. So what I got was purpose. And I got, you have this purpose that you want to do, but it requires stuff. It requires things of you. But just this purpose that's just trying to get out, but it's new. It's not the way that you used to live life. It is a very, very new way. And so that's a little scary to have to walk into a new, like, change and a new understanding of life and stuff like that. It's, you know, I think it's new. It's that new. That new. Okay. But if there's something that's calling out to you in a new space that you are totally unfamiliar with, go for it, 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 and take your time, because you can't get it wrong, even if you have to take breaks, even if it doesn't feel like it's perfect all the time, you can't get it wrong, because this was made for you. 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 Good job. For you. This was made for you. So let's bring your dreams to the front, okay? And let's pick away any of the obstacles no longer serving them, okay? Let's gonna let them go, let that one go. Anything in the way, let's go ahead and let it go. Remove it. Remove it, remove it, remove it. And release. 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 You are enough. You are enough. Now, I'm just gonna take a moment with my hands and just allow you to feel the energy. If you need more energy in, if you need to let it go, if you need it to move, whatever you need, feeling that here. A couple more breaths. Breathing in and out. Finding space. Final breath. Okay. Clearing that out. Clearing that out. Clearing it, clearing it, clearing it. And creating up this open and new space. Tell me how you're feeling. I want to check in with you, see how you're doing. Okay, I just want you to know that if there's anything out here that you want in life, you can do it. There's nothing that is big enough to prevent you from living this life that you want to live. So take that to your heart, feel it in your spirit, feel it in your sleep, feel it in your life, your goals, your ambitions. As you go after life, there is nothing, okay, nothing that can stop you from getting to where you need to go. Just get there, and don't be afraid of a challenge at all, okay? So let's keep on going. So just smoothing your energy down. Whenever anything gets a little like, just take a moment to smooth it down. Giving you an opportunity to just be at peace within your body, within your heart, within your soul. Peace of mind, okay? Peace of mind doesn't mean that you don't have a challenge, or, you know, that there aren't times that are civil rights and things like that. And then you came into this new collective where Angela Davis was a part of that group of people where they were like, I'm not gonna just sit down and let somebody beat my ass and not give me rights. They're like, I'm gonna protect myself, I'm gonna defend myself, and on top of that, I'm gonna advocate for the needed change. And so years later, as she has been so profound, I want to say she is a professor at, I want to say it's one of the colleges in California. Well, even today, as she gives counsel to those who are activists, helping for, those with marginalized identities, speaking up for themselves and creating space and things like that. She talks about the concept of radical self-care, which is, when you're very passionate about resolving some type of systemic injustice going on, you can feel burned out. And I know a lot of people probably feel that way, feel burned out. So like, do you even have enough energy for the rest of your day, for your life, for what you need to do? And so what she was saying is that, back in that time, it's the 70s at this point. Back in the 70s, what they were doing is they were like, there was this, yoga was making its way to the US, and it was gaining a lot of popularity through various gurus who were coming to the US and were growing to have a following. So this understanding of different because at that time the only exposure people probably really had was Christianity, and then you were just seeing Islam kind of happen, and people were talking about I feel like I'm getting really political now, but people were talking about communism from a different perspective, not the way that you see communism today, but the idea of things. It was in a political science perspective, it was a conversation that was happening about true equity. And so people were bearing beliefs both politically and in religion. And so this radical sense of self-care was something that was more of, we have to be as diligent, proactive, and activist for our own self-care as we are for whatever it is we're trying to do. So taking those moments of rest, taking those moments of peace, that is just more and more access in the long run. Welcome, babies. Come, 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 come. If you're returning, what's up, boo? Just sit back and relax, okay? And enjoy. Okay. Venus, and it has just left Leo, and it is now in Virgo. And what a lovely place. Lovely, 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 lovely place for Venus to be in. Because Venus in Virgo sees things for as they actually are. The love has to be practical. The love has to be consistent. The love has to be worth it, worth the effort. It actually doesn't mind working hard towards something. That's how Venus in Virgo sees. So anything that is not that, because Venus in Leo is, I love everybody. My natal Venus is in Leo, so I love everybody. But Venus in Virgo is much more perfectionist when it comes to looking at this energy. Now Venus is about love, so it could be your love life. It's also about how you show love, how you show interest in the things that you like, your passions in life. Not to get it confused with Mars, because we're going to talk about Mars tomorrow, but about the things that steal your heart, or what makes your heart feel warm and fuzzy or relaxed or at home. So with Venus in Virgo, the energy is you love what you can't depend on. The love is based off of dependability. Like, if someone is supposed to show up for you every day and they do, you find that more valuable than if they show up and they're entertaining, or they show up and they got an attitude. You can kind of like put that to the side, and you see it more of, this person said they were going to do what they're going to do. And it's the same way of how you express your love. So you might feel like, hey, I didn't feel that good that day, but I showed up anyway, because it's an effort of my love. Now you make sure you're around people who can appreciate that, because I'm definitely one of those people who are like, stay your ass at home if you got a bad attitude. Don't nobody want that energy. But it just depends. And so the love is about that vulnerability, that consistency, that dependability, okay? Now, Venus is going to be in Virgo. It actually just got into Virgo July 21st to August 18th, okay? So you know what that means. That means that during this time, those loves in your life that have always been there, your day ones, that's what we're going to call them, your day ones, whether that's friends, family, love, whatever, or the things you're passionate about, you're going to just appreciate that so much. And let me not fail to mention, whatever, the most important love you need to have is for yourself. Because you will look an entire lifetime for a love you're looking for that is readily available to you now. Don't give your love to somebody else when it's really the self-love that you need to give. Pour yourself up. I realized that the more self-love that I give myself, the more that the people who need me to give them love, and they don't want to give it to themselves, they don't want to give it back to me, the more that they start to kind of like remove themselves in my life. And those who are filling themselves up and giving love freely just like me easily stay in my life, float in my life, stay connected without there having to be a feeling of possession, or there's a sense of freedom and things like that. And if you just let the universe, God, source, whatever you believe in, if you just let that energy float freely, I guarantee you're gonna get what you're looking for, okay? So it's very short and sweet. We do not have any retrograde Venus energy this year. At least something, right? sigils were created, and it is the intention that all of us practitioners continue to put into them that gives it power. Whereas at the same time, you can also make your own sigils and, infuse whatever it is that you like. I've seen quite a few people enjoy making their own sigils. And of course, if you train with me, these are some things you would know. I like to think of myself as a very easygoing teacher. At the end of the day, I always try to take myself not so serious because, like, shit happens, There's always growing and expanding. Okay. Now, let's connect with some love that is within the self. This love within the self should represent your ability to show up for yourself at all times, to never desert yourself, and to be compassionate when those things do happen, okay? Let's connect you by saying a prayer. It's not a religious prayer, but connect you to your higher self so you can fill yourself up with this Venus and Virgo energy, okay? And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer, my love? Okay. Just take a couple breaths. Okay. Good. lay it on too thick. I'm just saying, be yourself, okay? And I'm gonna tell you right now, I change. I'm gonna keep changing too. Hello, I don't ever feel like there's a point in this journey where I stop and that I'm just gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna tell you what to do. This is your life, okay? You gotta come up with your own rules. And I just like to facilitate a space. So sometimes people are in the space and they just journal or they just write or they might do something that just makes them feel good, and that's accepted as well. And if you just want to go to sleep, because I know I listen to ASMR to fall asleep. So why not? But let's get into it. Like, we're doing like life work, and that's what I'm realizing, that we're doing life work. But let's get into it. So we start off with a prayer. As I said before, it is not a religious prayer. The prayer itself is a channeling. A channeling is something that comes up in lineages, traditions, different paths in order to connect to whatever you believe is out there or what you don't believe. It's not a requirement for you to believe that there is something out there. It's just you have to connect to whatever you're understanding, complex or simple, that it is. You are opening yourself up to it. So as I say the prayer, which I change because I'm always changing and I'm fine with that. When I say the prayer, feel free to add anything you need to add into it. I used to say specific things, so I'll say specific wisdom teachers. As I'm continuing to go on my journey, I just feel different. I feel like there are so many wisdom teachers. I'd be here all day trying to say a prayer like that. So you add what you need, and just to add a little bit of cinnamon on top, because it's one of my favorite herbs. When we do cleansings, we use cinnamon, just to add a little bit of cinnamon on top. I want you to use this opportunity to change your mentality when it comes to looking at mindfulness, esoteric experiences, esoteric mindfulness. And I want to give you the autonomy and the freedom to create whatever life you want, or create any understanding to learn and to change and to grow and to do all of these things. This is a safe space for you, so it doesn't have to look a certain part. It doesn't have to mirror something. It doesn't have to do anything except support you. So whatever you need, take, and what you don't, baby, just let it go. Like, don't even worry about what's for you, baby. It's for you. And so I want you to go where love loves you back. So we're gonna work today on channeling that energy so that you just relax into it, okay? Now, I want you to think about where you go, where love loves you back. Specifically with Go Get It July, we want to be looking at things that are encouraging, because you have to have the right soil, the right foundation in order to bring these dreams let's start to craft it. Let's use this month, depending on what cycle you're in your life. You might have a quick transformation, or this just might be the foundational steps. Sometimes it's not really even about finally I'm there. Sometimes it's about being along in the journey. Dissonance will teach you something about yourself. Dissonance will give you some perspective, like a little evaluation, a little report card in life. And let's accept this next level that you are ascending to and make peace with who you used to be and now accept who you are becoming. Okay. Okay. So just relax here. the choices